Welcome to our podcast, Peas in a Pod.
Peas in a pod.
I'm Eric.
I'm Shlok.
I'm Damien.
Okay.
So today's topic for our podcast is creme brulee. Damien, could you give us a brief description of what creme brulee is?
Of course. Okay, so basically what creme brulee is, it's a French dessert, and what it consists of two components, right? So the first component is vanilla custard. And then on top of that, you have the brûlée part, which means burned in French. So brûlée, the brûlée part is sugar that is either caramelized on a stovetop or caramelized with a blowtorch. And it creates a very nice contrast because you have the silky texture of the custard and then the crunchy topping of the sugar.
That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
100%.
Yeah.
And I actually have a couple encounters with creme brulee myself. So, I just want to tell you, like in winter break, I went skiing in France with my family, and in France, I had some creme brulee, and it was at this restaurant, and it was like one of the best creme brulees I've ever had. It was amazing. It was like one big dish rather than like the small ramekins that we used. So like you could share it, and it was honestly like incredible. But I feel like creme brulee is like one of those things where like if you do it right, it can taste amazing. But anything less than like near perfect, it tastes horrible.
Yeah, no, I mean, we learned that the hard way
Yeah.
through our little experiment. So I actually did have creme brulee once before our trial. So I went to a steakhouse in my town. And then for dessert, there's like, what do you want? We have a couple options. You know, we have lava cake, we have 3-layer cake, and you have creme brulee. So I never had creme brulee before. And I tried it, and it was really good. But the only issue I had with it is that it like you couldn't have too much because it's so rich.
Yeah, exactly.
And similar to Shlok, I've also had creme brulee in my life in France as well.
Really?
Where'd you go?
It was also in France. It was actually a Michelin restaurant. And
Oh wow, Michelin. How many stars?
How many stars?
I don't remember.
You don't remember the name?
Do you
of the
remember the
restaurant?
name of the restaurant?
Nah. It was something in French.
You're useless.
Oh my god.
But you know where in France?
I think it was in Nice. And the creme brulee actually had a hint of lemon to it,
Oh, wow.
which made it really special.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of citrus stuff, so I get that.
Yeah.
It sounds really good.
It was very good.
Me personally, I wouldn't like the citrus with vanilla, but I never had it before.
It
so-
can be good.
There was less flavor on the vanilla, more on the lemon.
Okay. So this past weekend, we actually
Yeah.
made creme brulee at
We
Shlok's
did, yeah.
house. We'll pull up some pictures here,
Yeah.
but
It's just what we do, we're gonna make stuff.
you know,
at
we got.
people's houses.
If we're gonna talk about creme brulee, we gotta try to make it. And,
Yeah, no.
So, just to be completely honest, the creme brulee was pretty bad, right?
Yeah, I mean, first time chefs. I've
Yeah.
never baked a thing in my life other than a couple cookies. Have you?
Nah, I haven't baked before.
I used to be like a proficient baker, but I was like,
What did you used to bake?
I made some cookies. I made something called pineapple stuffing. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever had that, but
Never had
it's,
that.
Never had it.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah.
You know what? One of my favorite desserts. We should have made this, but we should have made lava cake. I don't know why we did creme brulee.
I think
I
that's
love
up for
lava
next
cake.
episode.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay,
but-
so what were the ingredients that we used in our creme brulee?
Okay, so for the custard,
Yeah. I think we
First-
had like a couple eggs in there.
yeah, it was 1 egg per person.
Yeah.
It was
1 egg per person, correct.
around a tablespoon of sugar.
Tablespoon sugar,
But instead
vanilla
of-
extract.
Instead of sugar, we had a.
Yeah, that's the one problem we had. So basically, the reason our creme brulee was that bad is because we actually used brown sugar
Yeah, because
instead of white sugar.
we did not end up having brown
And-
white sugar on hand. So
You think you wouldn't notice it like sugar, right?
yeah.
Right?
No,
Yeah,
no,
we
yeah.
noticed it. It was bad as.
The only thing that you could taste is brown sugar. Let's
Yeah.
just say that. So after brown sugar and egg, we had heavy cream. That's just like the base of the custard,
Yeah.
right? It's not really flavor. It's just like the substance. And then finally we had vanilla extract. I think
Yeah.
that was said before, but yeah, that's to give the custard its flavor. And then for the topping, what we use is a mixture of brown sugar instead of regular sugar and water and then what we did was boil it on the stovetop.
And we also used maple syrup.
I mean, I don't think that.
True. Yeah.
I don't think that changes.
So we didn't. So to keep the sugar syrup from crystallizing on the sides, it's called what the process is called. It's called seizing. You have to have some sort of invert sugar, right? So you could have corn syrup, you could have honey, or you could have maple syrup. So we didn't have corn syrup or honey, which are the two like most used. So we use maple syrup. I don't know how well it worked because sugar. I mean, the caramel didn't really look that good.
I mean, we could show all 3 pictures.
Yeah.
Mine was obviously the best.
It didn't look that bad.
It's just like I feel like with the torch, it's just a lot.
Yeah, the
better.
torch is just better because
I think the torch.
there's no risk of burning your thumb or anything like that. For the process, what did Eric? Can you dive into what we did for the process of baking it?
Well, I don't quite remember the measurements that we used, but the first step that we did was that we mixed the ingredients together.
Yeah.
That was to create the custard. And then afterwards, what we did was we put it in the oven. And do you remember what temperature we put it at?
You put it in at a very low 250.
Oh yeah. So
low.
why do we put it so low?
Okay, so the main thing that we want to do, stop the overcooking of the
100%.
custard that's touching the ramekin, right? Because, like, for creme brulee, the norm is to put the ramekins in a water bath to keep the sides from getting above a certain temperature, which is boiling point of water, obviously. But we didn't want to do that because, you could burn yourself, you could slosh it around, stuff like that. It could, drip out.
Yeah, I just don't think we're coordinated enough for that.
Yeah, so the best idea, instead of going at 350 and having a water bath to keep the temperature down, is to just have the temperature down to begin with, right?
And the texture of creme brulee, it's supposed to be a soft pudding.
Yeah.
It should be nice, should be silky.
So slow and low for a long period of time. And then after that, we take it out, but we don't take it out when it's done, right? Because we want it to be set, but not rock hard, because after it cools, it's not gonna be good.
I think it would have been better if it was rock hard.
Yeah. Harry, what are your thoughts on our timing of taking it out? Do you think we took it out too early?
Well, based on the product, the texture of the inside of the creme brulee was not quite up to our standards. It was really...
Let's just say this, it was lumpy.
It was lumpy, it was chunky.
It was like cottage cheese. Let's just put it that way.
So our temperature was not ideal.
Yeah, okay. So moving on to final product texture. What about the taste? How did it taste for you guys?
It was lumpy, so that's really just not a good texture to have. But along with that, the taste of the actual pudding, it was one bite, I could taste the brown sugar, a little overpowering. 2 bites, I want to throw up.
Yeah.
It's just the curve is just insane.
It's just only the custard only tasted like brown sugar. Is that the same experience for you, Eric?
Yeah, the taste really wasn't there. Although the appearance of our creme brulee, especially Schloss, it wasn't bad.
I mean, if we could look at these pictures, right?
It didn't look bad. Yeah.
It didn't look that bad.
Especially with the sugar on top.
Yeah, you just wanted a light covering, because I think our sugar was because of the brown sugar, it caramelized very it made it very thick. It was more like molasses instead of a thin covering,
So yeah, the taste of that and the texture of that was not up to the standards that we'd hoped for. The sugar topping, right? Because it was way too thick, so we couldn't really put a spoon through it.
100%.
Tasted like brown sugar only.
Yeah.
It wasn't that good even. So usually that's the best part of the creme brulee, right?
Yeah.
It's the sugar topping, but it's not that good.
You know what? From the surface, I think we hit the nail on the head with that. I just feel like if we just use white sugar, but
Yeah, white sugar. Keeping them in for a little longer than we had before. I guess those are some things that we did bad, but some things that we did well. What do you think?
I think the sugar on top, it was quite good,
In your opinion, that was not the case for me. I did not like that.
It's just I feel like yours was very thick, hard to get through, and it's just when you take a bite of it, it's stuck, and it was
it's supposed to be a thin, small, brittle layer, but instead what we had was a thin, a thick, glassy layer that broke into shards. So, I can't really recall anything that went well in our experience.
You know, I thought the cooking process, you know, we all mix I think like while we were mixing the ingredients, that was pretty good.
That's something that I went well.
It's just like because sugar is such a prominent part of the dish, it's like once you mess that part up, it's like
yeah, I think that's where it all went wrong.
Yeah, there really aren't that many ingredients.
So if we were to make it again, let's say this weekend, even though we're
white sugar.
probably gonna make something else, what do you guys think that we should change about our process?
Well, the two main ones was definitely, of course, white sugar.
Yeah.
And the second one was heat control. So setting it to a different temperature. Maybe
Water bath may have
leaving
been
it in water.
I think I was just about to go into that. Right, I think the risk of like burning yourself on the water
It's
bath
worth it.
is worth it because the custard was disgusting. Right?
No, right? We already we even burned them too. Like
I don't think we'll be trying that again anytime soon. Because I'm just like the taste of brown sugar is still in my mouth.
ew.
Yeah. Also, it was cold.
And it's like
It wasn't good.
I thought using brown sugar, but it's like now that I realize like white is just like clearly better than brown. Like if I was like a caveman and those are the first two things I saw and I was like I wanted something that was like sweeter, nicer, better, I would choose the white one because like it's just like better.
Yeah. Especially because brown sugar is so empowering as well. So
And
crème
white sugar is just sweet. Brown sugar has a flavor, so if you use it, obviously it's gonna taste like that.
You can taste brown sugar. White sugar is just sweet.
I think that's a good place to stop our podcast for the first episode. You know, just talking about creme brulee.
Okay, this was 3 peas in a pod. This is Peas in a Pod outro freestyle. Let's go.
Sir. I'll start off. Yeah. Peas in the pot on stem, yeah. Keeping it brulee like creme, yeah.
Cooking up creme brulee, yeah. Should have done lime sorbet.
This is after May Day. Keeping it sweet dulce. We need to be better cookers. We shouldn't have used brown sugar. It's good. It's good.
It's fine. It's fine. It's good.
A spoon.
Okay.
Don't.
Yeah. Chat, I saw it.